Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk, where we take a look at the uh, industry out there. We will see what's going on out in the heavy industry, whether things are going well, or is there going to be a lot of layoffs, is there going to be a lot of factories being built. We try to look at things from an industrial point of view. And we'll do that. We'll also look at some articles about the shortage of the skilled trades, which I know there is a lot going on right now. We desperately need people. It's not a joke anymore. There's a lot of openings and not a lot of people willing to fill them. So now's the time to get out there and find yourself a trade, or tell someone that wants to get into them now. It'll pay off dividends in the long run, I guarantee. And then we'll also look at we'll go to everybody's favorite time, and that's picture time. Everybody loves picture time. Lots of pictures and videos of some of the work I've been involved with, and you can come along for the ride, as it were. But before I get to that, I'm going to get into some news, courtesy of Plant Magazine, and we'll see what's going on around out there. Just go right here. There we go. There's one article I saw, or one news bit. It said that Unifor says Stellantis is moving Jeep production slated for Brampton, Ontario, to Illinois. Well, I don't know if that's going to make those guys in Brampton too happy, but they're moving their Jeep production to Illinois. Let's see what it says here. A union representing auto workers at Jeep's Brampton assembly plant in Ontario says production that has been slated there is being moved to Illinois. Unifor, Canada's largest private sector union, said the move was included in a $13 billion plan announced by automaker Stellantis on Tuesday to expand U.S. production by 50% over the next 4 years. The announcement came after the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said last week that the Trump administration's goal is to end vehicle assembly in Canada and move those jobs south, Unifor said in a news release. Stellantis cannot be allowed to renege on its commitments to Canadian workers, and governments cannot stand by while our jobs are shifted to the United States, it said. Lana Payne, Unifor's national president, said saving the Brampton plant should be Canada's top priority. Our governments must right now demand that vehicle investment is retained in Brampton and use every lever of influence at their disposal to protect these Canadian jobs, Payne said in a news release. Unifor said Stellantis news broke shortly after a union delegation, including Payne, met with Ontario Premier Doug Ford to discuss strategies to counter ongoing U.S. tariffs on Canadian-made vehicles and protect jobs. In February, Stellantis said it was pausing work in Brampton amid a retooling of the plant for both electric and gas Jeep Compass vehicles, with production expected to start in the fourth quarter of 2025. The Brampton plant, which has been down since early 2024 to prepare for the new production line, has about 3,000 employees before closing. Stellantis CEO Antonio Filosa said Tuesday's announcement, single largest investment in the company's history. Accelerating growth in the U.S. has been my top priority since my first day, Filosa said in a statement. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure. Success in America is not just good for Stellantis in the U.S., it makes us stronger everywhere. Prime Minister Mark Carney said his government, Ontario, and Unifor were working with Stellantis to develop measures to protect employees and to create new opportunities in and around Brampton. Well, apparently it wasn't enough there, Prime Minister. So, yeah, good job at being useless. We have further made clear that we expect Stellantis to fulfill the undertakings they have made to the workers of Brampton, Carney said on social media late Tuesday. Today's decision is a direct consequence of current U.S. tariffs and potential future U.S. trade actions. Until a more certain trade environment for the North American auto sector is established through the upcoming review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement, decisions on new investments in the auto sector will continue to be affected. Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown said he was disappointed in Stellantis' decision and stood in full solidarity with Unifor and its members. Yeah, if he wants to get elected again, he's going to stand in solidarity with them, that's for sure. As Stellantis and others invest heavily in U.S. operations, we risk seeing Canadian manufacturing eroded by trade imbalances, emerging tariff structures, and incentive programs that favor U.S. facilities. The mayor said coordinated national strategy is urgently needed to protect workers from the effects of unfair trade barriers and to ensure Canada is seen as a viable, attractive destination for long-term auto production. That's only in Ontario because that's where they build the cars. You won't hear any other province talking like that. Anyways, I thought that sounded strange, but I guess Stellantis wants to stay on the not have to pay a lot of tariffs, I guess. Here's something, too. 2 Quebec battery supply chain projects hit the brakes. We shouldn't be surprised about this, everybody. Shouldn't be surprised at all. The electric vehicle slowdown is being felt in Bécancour, the city at the heart of Quebec's dreams of becoming a hub in the North American battery supply chain. That's all they are. They're just dreams. If this article is any indication, it's just a pipe dream. But we'll see. The planned expansion of a battery facility in the city has been put on hold while the plant that was supposed to feed it has been canceled. Turns out, hey, what's happening, B17? Turns out taking one too many punches to the head has a lasting effect. Yeah, just ask Muhammad Ali. Yeah, that's, yeah, concussions everywhere. How you doing, B17? Haven't seen you since, what was it, Sunday? Hope things are going all right. My drink of choice tonight, some nice lemon ginger tea with a teaspoon of honey in it. Great for the digestion. All right. Quebec Economy Minister Christian Frechette confirmed the news on Thursday, calling it disappointing. She said the decisions are part of a global slump in the development of the battery supply chain. It certainly has an impact on our projects, which are at the heart of the battery industry, she said, but just because it's slowing down doesn't mean it's not moving forward. Okay, it's not moving, it's only moving like at a crawl then. Everybody was really, they thought they were going to be really hot and heavy for the batteries. It's hilarious. Oh yeah, everybody's going to want an electric car. Everybody's going to have batteries and all that. Let's build more battery factories. And all of a sudden, nope, canceled, and canceled again. Things are fine besides your Spanish class. Stellantis was a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes are like, well, Ponzi schemes are like Ponzi schemes, but stupider. Are we like talking from Happy Days, Potsy? You're such a Potsy. Yeah, Stellantis, it's not even an American company anymore, so you know, it used to be Jeep Chrysler, then they got bought by Chrysler was bought by Daimler, and Daimler sold it to Fiat, and Fiat, I guess, got bought up by Stellantis, so they can't even do good work anymore. A spokesman for GM Canada said Thursday the company is pausing the second phase of a project to produce cathode active materials for electric vehicle batteries. The project, called Ultimancam, is a partnership between GM and South Korean manufacturer POSCO. Oh, spamming already from Kik? Well, let me just stop what I'm doing here on my stream. And I'm just going to ban you for unsolicited viewers. All right, there, now that I got that. Yeah, it's always kick. It is always kick, B17. It's always kick. And then sometimes Twitch will pipe up, but just once, and then it's like it's always cheap views on Streamboo. Let's keep going here. The first phase of the project is under construction with a $600 million facility in Bécancour expected to start production in 2026, but a subsequent expansion, which would have increased production capacity of cathode active materials and added production of the base ingredients used to make them, is now on ice. The decision was made in light of evolving market dynamics, according to spokesman Marie Binet. Yeah, evolving market dynamics, meaning not everyone is rushing to go buy an electric vehicle. Just make the chat subscribers or followers only. Yeah, you know what? I guess that's something I could do. I mean, you guys must follow me. You're here. So yeah, makes sense. Maybe I'll do that. Not right now, but I'll do that. I'll try to make that change later on. As a result of that decision, Brazilian mining giant Vale SA has scrapped plans for a nickel sulfate plant that would have supplied the second phase of the Ultium CAM project. In a statement, Vale Base Metal said GM will not need nickel sulfate in Quebec at this time. Vale Base Metals and GM continue to work on their partnership to supply Canadian nickel into GM's North American supply chain. The news first reported Thursday by Radio-Canada comes shortly after Quebec government pulled the plug on another electric vehicle battery project near Montreal last month. Frechette announced the province would end funding for the planned Northvolt battery plant and would try to recoup some of its investment in the project. At the time, Frechette pointed to battery projects in Bécancour as proof that the industry was still alive and well in Quebec. On Thursday, she insisted that still the case, saying that 3,000 workers are building the factories in the city. She said she hopes the Ultium CAM expansion will be relaunched at some point. This is the sector we will have to focus on for years to come on an international scale, she said, so we are in good economic position to benefit from this, thanks to both our expertise and the green energy we have. The federal and provincial governments have together funded about $300 million of the first phase of the Ultium CAM project, including a $152 million partly forgivable loan from Quebec. So pretty much free money for them. Earlier this week, GM reported it will record a negative impact of US $1.6 billion on its next quarter after tax incentives for electric vehicles were slashed by the US and rules governing emissions are relaxed. For the record, we disagree with the judge's ruling to give land back to the Indians in BC. Those people bought their property in good faith, and the judge doesn't have the jurisdiction to cede. Yeah, Fabric. I mean, you're right. It was money in good faith, and people have to stop being so yellow and spineless and stand up once in a while. Don't just fold like a newspaper. They gotta just stand up and be like, listen, we're not gonna kowtow to you all the time and let our guilt get the better of us. It's getting stupid. It's getting really stupid out there. Just give us nuclear power already? You're tired of this natural gas? That's a prime minister issue. Yeah, anything to do with the native population is always going to be federal. They don't deal with provincial at all. 3 Mile Island scared off any serious... Yeah, it did. Yeah, it sure did. Oh, well, there you go. Battery supply chain put on hold or canceled. So not everyone's rushing out like a bunch of sheep to go and buy some electric cars, which is good. You don't have to. You shouldn't be forced to do that. Martin Rea International acquires U.S. assets in an effort to expand product offerings. You have natural gas because it's Taco Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. I like the large bean burritos. Those are so tasty. Martin Rea International is expanding its footprint in the U.S. auto sector by acquiring assets from an Oklahoma-based vehicle manufacturer. Martin Rea says it purchased assets from Lyseon North America Incorporated, which ran a plant in Tulsa with operations focusing on metal part manufacturing and assemblies for the bus market. The Toronto-based automotive supplier says it will continue to operate the businesses with intentions to grow over time. Fred DeTosto, Martin Rea's president, said in a press release that the acquisition represents a strategic U.S. location and the potential to broaden its product offerings. The move comes amid uncertainty in the North American auto market after carmaker Stellantis said it will move plant vehicle production from its plant in Brampton to Illinois. Hey, we just talked about that. Martin Rea CEO Pat D'Eramo said the firm's overall exposure to tariffs was manageable when it announced the second quarter results in August. See, he said it was manageable. Oh yeah, changing the NFL teams. They did that here in Alberta as well. They changed it used to be the Edmonton Eskimos, and now they changed it to the Edmonton Elks. Well, let me tell you, nobody up in the Arctic Circle or anything like that was offended by having a football team called the Edmonton Eskimos. So there's more stupidity that runs rampant. Nobody was like, oh, why would you call it that? Also, why would you name a sports team after something you hate? Why would you, if you're racist, why would you name it something that you're going to hate? I don't get it. It doesn't, it blows me away. I don't understand. Somebody explain this to me. Yeah, you have no problem with Redskins. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Veritex, how you doing? You're watching from your phone because your computer makes a loud noise and you don't know what to do with it. Fans have gone kaput. Uh-oh. You might have to go buy another fan. Might have to dig into your PC and see what you can do there, Veritex. Eskimos offend you? All that nose rubbing? Right? Yeah, how dare you kiss like that? Hey, Alex Moore, how you doing? You had to get your phone? You're lurking and getting ready for work. Yeah, well, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining. We're just moving along through the news here. Trump is hitting medium and heavy trucks with a 25% tariff on November the 1st. Is it the Redskins were named in honor of one of their players or coaches originally, you think? And in part because that they were the Boston Braves, but then they changed to playing at the same field that Sox? Okay. Veritax is an engineer. Of course, his computer is It's a laptop, and this is the second time you opened it up and clean it in 3 months. The fans have died. It's bought in 22, and it's a little over 3.5 years old. Should still be going strong, but I guess, fans are running all the time. The laptops you high school students are given are worse. Seems like all the corporate stuff is Dell. I don't know about you guys, but corporately, like Dell computers are everywhere in the facility I'm at, and they run Windows, and they're running Windows 11, which is just ugh. You're a software engineer. You don't know why being an engineer would say my computer is crap. You're notorious for holding on to hardware too long. Hey, I still have an iPhone 6 that I use, and it works just fine. No, I can't install any of the new applications on there, but I don't care. It does exactly what I need it to do. I can talk on it, I can text on it, and that's about it. For this one, U.S. President Donald Trump signed a proclamation Friday to slap a 25% tariff on imported medium and heavy-duty trucks beginning November the 1st, with a carve-out for vehicles traded under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement. trucks compliant with the trade agreement, better known as CUSMA, will be tariffed only on their non-American parts. The latest levies will not hit auto parts that are compliant under the North American Trade Pact for now. A fact sheet from the White House said the exemption will be in place until Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, in consultation with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, establishes a process to apply tariffs to the non-U.S. content of the parts. A 10% tariff will be placed on buses and motor coaches. Was the 12th Gen i9 with an RTX 3070 Ti? It runs warm even when you're not gaming? Oh wow, 12th Gen? You got i9? They forced you to run a Windows 11 on a $150 laptop. Meanwhile, you're still using the Dell you bought back in 03, Windows 7 for the win. Yes, Windows 7. Yes, right on, man. Windows 7. That was my favorite one. B17 never got to use Windows 7. Previous computer you had didn't have anywhere near the amount of computing power and did eventually have had a fan die too. Okay. You do tend to buy 3 new fans, take the laptop apart, pull everything off, clean off thermal paste, reapply thermal paste, add the new fans, or do you just buy a new machine in a few months? Hey, it's up to you, Veritax. The fans should be a lot cheaper than having to buy a whole new laptop. It's just a pain having to move all your stuff over. I guess unless you have like a external hard drive or whatever, and you just plug and play. But let's finish this off here. The administration also included a tariff discount for companies that produce and sell completed automobiles in the United States, a move that intends to offset the impact of duties on imported parts. Trump used Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962 to impose the latest truck tariffs, which will hit semi-trailers and big pickup trucks, mirroring the levies that have already slapped on smaller automobiles earlier this year. It adds to a growing list of sector-specific duties that include steel and aluminum, copper, and lumber. Friday's proclamation also allows for some relief from 50% steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada and Mexico. A White House official speaking on background said it gives Lutnick discretion to reduce those duties to no lower than 25% for steel and aluminum from Canada or Mexico. For companies that are investing in those industries in the United States, the tariff relief would only be for the steel and aluminum used in automobiles. The official said the intent is to give temporary relief and should not be interpreted as a pathway to broader countrywide steel or aluminum tariff rate reductions for Canada. William Pellerin, a trade lawyer and partner at the firm of McMillan LLP, said in an email that the move appears to further incentivize movement of production to the United States, with the carrot being lower steel and aluminum tariffs. It's not clear whether the reduced tariff rate for steel and aluminum would be implemented. Okay, well, tax something and or tariff something and lower it on something else. That's what's going to happen. Of course, who knows how long this is going to last. I mean, as soon as his term is up, I mean, who knows what the next administration is going to do. Are they just going to, out of spite, are they just going to scrap everything that he's done? Like, it's, you never know. Oh, no. Batteries in the mouse just died. Gotta get some batteries. All right, I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I gotta get some batteries. All right. Thank God for the bulk pack of batteries from Costco. There we go. So he bought a couple of 4 terabyte USB sticks the other day. Wow, they're already up to 4 terabyte for USB sticks? Wow. So the tariffs on both steel and wool. If you buy steel wool, do you have to pay double? I don't know. Will they? General Motors is ending BrightDrop production. What is BrightDrop? I don't get what this is here. General Motors is ending production of its BrightDrop electric delivery van. And there we go. Again, you guys. You can see this happening in real time. The fact that it's not just there, there's battery factories that are being stopped from being built. Now General Motors is ending production of its BrightDrop electric delivery van. It's not flourishing as they thought it would. These things are just not they're not coming naturally. You're trying to force them on people, and people are not having it. Costco's a modern day miracle. It's crazy at Costco. Just all the stuff that you can try to get there, and you never walk out with anything less than like a $500 bill after shopping there. With the Supreme Court apparently voting to dissolve some of the DEI gerrymandering that was going on, it might be a lot harder for the Democrats to score electoral votes next time. Oh, okay. You've never shopped at a Costco, Veritax. Okay. Yeah, EVs, when ambition meets reality. That's a good one, Fabric. Yeah. Hey, it's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? How's things going? How's things in New York? But yes, General Motors is ending the production of its BrightDrop electric delivery van in Ingersoll, Ontario, in the latest blow to the province's automotive sector. The company says the decision was related to low demand for the model, and it isn't moving production elsewhere. That is in contrast to the decision announced last week by Stellantis to move production to Brampton, from Brampton to the Illinois. DJ, you took the day off. Good job, man. Right on. You're discussing Power Armor on a stream right now. Well, make sure you mention the Power Armor from Genesis Climber Mospeada. That was always cool. It's a motorcycle, and it turns into some wearable power armor. You had to come here and celebrate for Tuesday? Yep, it's your Friday on Tuesday. We always welcome your presence here, DJ. You always have some good points to make. GM had temporarily cut production in April before fully idling the plant in May, leaving more than 1,200 unionized workers temporarily laid off. The plant was supposed to restart operations in November with a single shift that would have meant around half that number heading back to work. $500 at Costco, those are rookie numbers. I don't want to spend more than that. Man, oh man. But at least I only go there like quarterly, so every 3 or 4 months, maybe every 4 months, we'll do a Costco run, pick up, all the bulk stuff we want, and then we're good for another couple of months. It's not like we go there every week. Christian Aquilina, president of GM Canada, said in an interview that there is no firm plans in place for the plant. With this news just fresh, we'll now assess the future opportunities for the plant. We're very energized now as a result of this news to find other solutions, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're looking at various opportunities. Yeah, I'm sure you are. What opportunities? What are you looking at? He said workers would receive full pay for 6 months as well as other supports. Federal Industry Minister Melanie Joly has said she had spoken with the local Unifor leader as well as Ontario Premier Doug Ford, and that they had agreed to create a response group to push for new production at the plant. Genesis Climber Mospeada honorably mentioned. Nice. And it's inspired someone to mention bubblegum. Bubblegum crisis. Yeah, there you go. need to make sure that we fight for these jobs and that there are new models coming back to Ingersoll and that GM has a bright future here in Canada, she said before heading into a cabinet meeting. She'll say, you can say anything. You're a politician. You're just yapping, flapping your gums. The reality is the CAMI was hit from both directions by Trump as he aggressively acted to undo EV supports and hit Canadian auto assembly plants with a 25% tariff, said Unifor National President Alana Payne. Now more than 1,000 workers and their families are paying the price for Trump's political interference and GM's failure to hold the line. Flavio Volpe, president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, said on social media that the uncertainty caused by tariffs has likely contributed to the decision to simply end production. Instead of assigning a new product here, they're choosing to simply give it up. We need to work together for a new product in the plant or its fate will be sealed. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much what GM wants to do. GM opened the CAMI plant for BrightDrop production in 2023, hailed it at that time as the first full-scale electric vehicle manufacturing plant in Canada. The plant previously produced the popular Chevy Equinox model before shutting production in 2022 to retool the plant for the BrightDrop. The outlook for electric vehicles, especially specialized ones like the BrightDrop, has however shifted as U.S. President Donald Trump has worked to reverse policies meant to speed up the adoption of zero-emission vehicles. You shouldn't force people to adopt it. If they want to, go ahead. Stop trying to force it down people's throats. With the evolving regulatory framework at the end of the federal consumer incentives, it is now clear that the near-term EV adoption will be lower than planned. This is why we're reassessing our EV capacity and manufacturing footprint. Yep, there you go. Another electric car nail in the coffin. Yeah, usually every 3 months for you, Fabric. Go to Costco run. That seems about right. Politicians often confuse talk with action because that's all they can do. They can't do anything except talk. Yap it up. That's all they can do. Let's move along here. I saw this one here. Australia's clean energy race risks stalling without surge in skilled trades. A critical shortage of trainers and apprentices could derail net zero target. Never mind your net zero target. What about everything else? Australia's clean energy ambitions hinge on a workforce that doesn't yet exist. A landmark workforce plan warns without a dramatic expansion of apprenticeships, trainers, and training facilities, the nation's race to net zero could falter. Industry players from Tasmanian's hydropower valley to WA's training hubs are finding ways to bridge the gap if the funding can finally flow. Net zero, free internet. Yeah, that might be it. Hey, DJ, your net is zero. Australia needs an extra 42,000 qualified energy trades workers by 2030 to support the transition to net zero. Like I said, never mind net zero. You need them anyway. And that's according to the Powering Skills Organization. Workforce plan launched at Parliament House back in August. Without swift action, the shortfall will deepen well beyond mid-century. The high load short supply bridging the gap to 2030 report shows training has fallen 40% short over the past decade, leaving a current shortage of 22,000 apprentices. It calls for a 40% boost to the apprentice pipeline from about 55,000 to 77,000 within 5 years. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to prepare our labor and training markets for a fundamentally different future, PSO Chief Executive Anthea Middleton said at the Canberra launch. If we get workforce planning right now, we can deliver a just transition that provides safe, stable, and highly skilled careers for Australians while helping the world address climate change. Yeah, you might as well just throw that out. Don't worry about it. It's, I saw what did they call it? Oh man, it was climate something, but it meant like you're worried about it for nothing. Ah, damn, I wish I could remember. It was really good too. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Middleton welcomed fee-free TAF, a $91 million clean energy skills package, on a $30 million program to boost vet trainers. but stress there's still more to do to break what the report calls a dual crisis of workforce shortage and skills misinformation or skills transformation. Why aren't those unwashed hippies concerned about carbon footprint protesting those AI data centers? Yeah, right. Exactly, Fabric. Oh, you're reading that Japan has voted in a new prime minister and it's their first woman. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. If it's a parliamentary system like ours, like Canada, then I mean, she'll just be told what to do anyway, like our guys are. Yeah, like that, Veritex. Yeah, like climate alarmism or climate hysteria. Yeah, kind of like that, where it wasn't like climate change. It's just like you're just worried about the climate. Climate hysteria. I guess climate hysteria would be a good one. There's no science behind it. It's just make people panic so that you can just mention climate change and they're just going to be like, ah. Even where funding has been announced, such as 627 million clean energy apprenticeship scheme designed to support more than 60,000 trainees, industry groups say the money has been slow to reach training providers and employers. Well, of course, the government is doling out. They're probably going to give it to their buddies. Never mind trying to get it to where it really needs to go. PSO modeling warns unless funds like these are pushed quickly through to classrooms, trainers, and employer incentives, the apprentice pipeline will remain blocked. Many employers say while the funding framework looks generous on paper, the process for accessing it are cumbersome and slow, leaving apprenticeships unfunded and positions unfilled. In practice, this all means Australia risks a mismatch between policy ambition and delivery. Money allocated but not mobilized, and a workforce ready to train but waiting for the resources. Despite record demand, more than 100 applicants for some apprenticeship intakes, 3 choke points keep the pipeline constrained. Employers. SMEs that train 75% of apprentices face wage and supervisory costs without a clear return, while poaching of 3rd and 4th year apprentices by larger contractors compounds the problem. Training providers, nearly 80% of a shortage of qualified trainers, and 77% say their facilities cannot meet future demand. Apprentices, even eager candidates, are stalled by long waits to start classroom training, slowing progression and inflating costs. Okay. They gotta be able to look at another country and see what that country does to make it a better process. The pressures are written into the lives of apprentices and trainers across the country. In Perth, Stuart Diepveen, General Manager of Electrical Group Training, says targeted support for older recruits is crucial. If you can remove the extra cost to an employer of taking on a mature age apprentice, these trainees will be chosen every time. Funding for adult apprentices has really helped us get these candidates up and running. And the trainees themselves are coming up against barriers too. Apprentice Jack Trotter, 22, has battled repeated college delays. Every time he needed to book a block or day release, there were delays. It was frustrating and it hit me financially. In Brisbane, Ro Lyon feels her 4-year course will stretch to 5, adding, if we have any further delays, it'll have spanned 5 years in total to get my 4-year apprenticeship. I mean, oh, that happens. It's gonna happen. In Western Sydney, second-year apprentice Brooke Ross highlights both opportunity and imbalance. In my apprentice group at TAF, we were about 60% female, but on site, there's usually only 2 females in a team of 5 or 6. Wah, wah, boo-hoo. Oh, no. So big deal. You don't have a lot of females on the team. Don't worry about that. Maybe worry about doing your job. How about learning your craft and shutting up and listening? Never mind if there's more women or not. Just idiotic. Oh yeah, you got the old bot there. There we go. I'll do that. And I'll go over to the Kick chat here and you're banned. You did unsolicited posting in my chat, so you get banned. Here's some positive momentum. In the Hunter region, network operator Transgrid has injected fresh momentum into the clean energy workforce. Over the past 5 years, it has taken on 86 apprentices across 6 sites in sectors like substation, telecoms, and transmission line work. In January, it plans to onboard 30 more. Through structured mentorship and field experience, Transgrid aims to build not just tradesmen, but skilled network professionals. Transgrid Executive GM of Delivery Jennifer Hughes said, "Our apprentices are vital to Australia's energy future. We're not just providing jobs, we're developing skilled professionals who can support our transition to renewable energy and strengthen local communities along the way." Yeah, B17, that's the thing. You don't give a damn who's fixing your plumbing, woman or not. You want my toilet to actually work. That's right. I don't care. You, instead of worrying about, oh, I'm the only woman here, or there's only 2 of us, shut up, pay attention, learn your craft the best you can, and you will be a better journeyman at the end of it all. Learn your problem-solving skills, and make sure that you have, make sure you have your skills that you've learned, and you can apply them, and you won't make mistakes like when you were an apprentice. If you want your toilet to work, stop flushing things down it. You shouldn't be flushing down it. Those wet wipes are not flushable. You can't make women do what they don't want to do, yet they keep trying to force women into STEM. They just end up an OnlyFans. Yeah, on OF anyway. Yeah. No, I know, Fabric. That's what I've said before, too. It's like, you can't force them. Stop trying to force them. Anyway, that's enough of that one. Australia is a lost cause. Sounds like they're trying to go for clean energy. And if you're just going to concentrate on trying to pull people into clean energy, you're going to lose them elsewhere. Urges new respect for trades and blue-collar leadership. Actually, let's go right to picture time. Hey, let's go for picture time here. That's enough of the news here. Oh, it's picture time. It's picture time. Do that and that. And let's see here. Okay, you guys saw the title of the stream here, Cutting It Close. Well, I'm going to show you what Cutting It Close is all about. It's common knowledge that trades are male-dominated, so being the only woman is pretty expected. It should be, and it should be explained to them explicitly when they're going through their training. You're not going to be the majority. You are going to be in the minority, but you will be treated well. You will not, all these horror stories you hear, they're really exaggerated, and you will be fine as long as you are eager to learn and you pay attention and you really want to be there for all the right reasons. I can speak from experience. I myself had a female apprentice, and she was great. She listened. She asked questions when she needed to, and she was interested in learning and being the best millwright she could be. So I couldn't have asked for a better apprentice, and she was able to keep up with me, which was a big plus. So that's what I looked for in an apprentice, and she is very successful now. You finally got the last 16 bags contractor side out of your house after looking at almost a quarter ton of garbage. That's 2 trips. That's yeah, that is a quarter ton of garbage, Veritas. Woo! That's a lot of cleaning. But when you went to the dump transfer station, you just throw the bags in this area and they come with a dozer, push it down somewhere and break it up. Trucks were coming with dumpsters. Yep. The dumpsters, when they went, they had like fiberglass and all kinds of other stuff kicking up dust. You could smell it. Like, man, should have had a mask on. You didn't see any signs. 1.8 tons in a 2010 dumpster plus another quarter ton That puts you over 2, and then you figure you put about another 12 bags, you're probably head over there. 3 tons of trash. Wow! That's a clean sweep, Veritax. Good for you, man. Right on. All right. Let me just get let me get it set up here. All right, so things are going to happen where you have to use a cutoff wheel. Why? Because sometimes there's something called galling, where the nut and bolt will get welded together by the friction and the heat, and then you can't get it off. The only way to do it is by cutting it off. And there's a few ways to cut it off. Let me show you here. Where is it? There we go. Okay, I've got my handy dandy body cam. Oh, a 20-ton dumpster. All right, that's it, Veritax. You dread when it's your turn to clean out your house, barns, and sheds. Oy. Well, you know, you leave it for the family to do. All right, so on our heat exchangers, we have these bell ends where they are sealed up. And that's what I'm going to do today. But you need to wear your PPE. And so here I am donning my PPE. Respirator. Silicone spray and blowtorch isn't enough. Not this time. And we'll put on the old face shield on top of the helmet. And gauntlet style welding gloves. So you can protect your arms. That's how you got to do it. Next, we'll grab the cutoff wheel attachment on the grinder. Got to untie the cord. Polarized plug, so make sure the big end goes on the big side of the outlet. There we go. Give it a spin. Now you can see right here, there's the stud, the nuts on one side, and you would think, yeah, I cut the nut off, but you can't because you can't get the you can't get the grinder in there. So I'm just showing you guys it can't come out. So it's like, okay, well, we'll do it just like this. We use a grinder with a cutoff wheel. Veritax. You see? This now comes out. You cut off enough length, it'll come out the back side. And there they are. And you always take your pieces, and so you don't step on them and trip, you put them off to the side. I think I'm going to activate the laser sight now on this thing. We'll see. There you go. Now this laser will point exactly where the camera's looking. So it's better for me too. I can see where the camera is looking at. And there's this one. Sparks are getting pushed down to the ground, so that's good. And that's got that one. You got a pair of grilled gloves that were kind of like those gauntlet gloves. You love them. You never got burnt, and then they were a pain to clean though. Yeah, they would be. Also, I'm using the mat there to protect my knees. When you get older, you want to protect your knees. Now, this is a little bit of a mistake, a blunder on my part. I want to move this closer so I can get there with the grinder, but oh. It fell off the cart. So, okay, well, these things are like 80 pounds too. Pretty heavy. But I lifted it back up. Hey, what's up, Tanker? How you doing? You're just in time for picture time. Okay, so take those studs, push them out. Oh. There we go. Grab my kneeling pad. Save your knees. Us older guys, we gotta save our knees, you know. Picture time? What do you mean by that? I mean exactly what we're doing right now. We're watching pictures and videos of some of the projects I'm doing. There we go. That one comes out. Always put your cutoffs away so you don't trip on them. We'll go to the other side here. There we go. Got one. Next one. Make sure it's pushed all the way out. There we go. And that's how you get rid of these guys. If you ever have a nut that's just rusted on or seized on there, you can always cut it off with a cutoff wheel. You just got to make sure you're set up okay. And always making sure that you're cleaning up your area as you go so that you don't leave stuff in the way for people to fall on, strip on, slip on, or yourself. If you rev it before you cut, it cuts faster. Hey, I did. I gave it a good, I pulled the trigger a bit. It said I don't want to go on the cart, but I'm getting better. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure, Veritex. And there should be... How are we for time? Okay, we're doing all right. I've got one more, too. Which one is this? Oh, yes. Okay. Winterizing fire hydrants. Might not be something you have to do, but it is a good idea. You have a nut that's long and annoying, but they frown on you killing you. Yeah, I guess, eh? That's frowned upon there, Faber. So yes, here in Canada and on our site, we have to winterize the fire hydrants so that they don't crack and dump out a whole bunch of water during the wintertime when it gets unbearably Arctic cold here. So that's what I had to do. We have two of them on site, and I got a video of me winterizing the one. Let's see. It always takes a little bit to get set up with my body cam. there it is. So the hydrant there, that's got the nozzle on it so we can reach as far as we need to put out any fires. Right there is the what I use is a diaphragm pump, an air-operated diaphragm pump, and this is for pumping out the water that's trapped in the hydrant. So you close the hydrant and then you stick the suction end of the pump down in there. And there we go. I'm putting it in there right now. And then you come over and you turn on the pump. And right now we're pumping the water out of the bottom of the fire hydrant. And you try to move it around and get into all the little corners and crevices that you can get to remove all the water. You can tell by the sound of the diaphragm pump whether it's pumping anything or not. Try to push it down there as far as we can go. And I think that's it. That poor pump gets quite a workout between the hydrants and the retention pump. Yeah, and then we use this stuff. Water system antifreeze. So I need my my specially made filler. Put that in there. And it's filling it up right now. And I put about, I don't know, about 6 liters in there. It looked like an octopus at first. So about a gallon, I guess, a gallon and a half. And there's the next one. Okay, so we'll dump that in, and that should hopefully keep it all nice and, you know, from freezing in there. There we go. Put the cap back on. Take our handy dandy wrench. Then we come up here to the nozzle end. We'll take that nozzle off. All moist there, fabric. There we go. Okay, we'll put that off to the side. And what I'll do is I'll pour some in the end. I'll see if I can't get it to work its way down to that valve. Just try to work it around the corner. So now I'm opening up that valve just to make sure. I will open it and then close it again. We'll dump some more in there. There we go. Slosh it around and hopefully get it to work its way back down. Okay, and that's got it. Take the end. Screw that back on. Pipe looks like tetanus shot waiting to happen. Take that wrench and we'll tighten that down, snug it down, because that's important. There we go. Alright, so that is now winterized. We'll take the air supply off of the pump. Take the discharge out of the manhole or the sewer pipe. Alright, I guess that's a storm drain, not a sewer pipe. Then we'll go and unplug the air. We'll wrap everything up. I just had to go back and make sure I shut the air off. Now we're just going to clean up. We'll make sure everything's all rolled up nicely. We'll roll up the air lines. Why do I look so tall in these videos? It's, I don't know. It's probably the sun. I cast a long shadow. Stretch out the airline so you can roll them up properly. Because, you know, a good tradesman takes the time to roll up his equipment. whatever it might be, whether it's electrical cord, airline. Take the time, make it nice and neat, and that way it's good to go for you for the next time. Squidward? What are you talking about, DJ? Okay, always put your tools away where you got them from. That's where it goes. A bad workman rolls up his joints on site. Yes, he probably does. Well, there you go. That's how you winterize a fire hydrant. You guys got to see two things today. You got to see the fire hydrant, and you got to see how to cut studs off when you get a seized nut on the end there. And it's if you can't cut, remember, you gotta try to think broad spectrum. Is like, okay, well, most people would try to cut the nut end off, but you don't have to do that. Maybe just push it as far through as you can, cut that, and then push it back the other way. So there's a couple ways, and you always got to kind of think your way through it. Use some critical thinking. I know it's not very common and all that, but you know, when you're in the trades, you got to think on your feet. You got to try to expand your knowledge and make it so that you're not just thinking in one direction only. You got to always try to have that branching that you can do. I can do this, but then is there another way to do that? You got to think to yourself, is there another way to do this? Can I do this? Can I use this? You know, even talking it out with somebody. Oh, what do you think about this? Or what have you seen before? You know, and sometimes the most unlikely thing will come from somebody. They'll be like, oh, okay, what about this? And you're like, yeah, that's right. That's a good idea. So, you know, something along that lines. Just try to get yourself, and I know the cliche is thinking outside the box, but that is a cliche. But don't constrain yourself to one single train of thought. Maybe have yourself think in several different directions. And when you're trying to do something and you get stumped or you run up against something, you're like, what can I do to achieve what I want from this job? If I need to do something, you need to do something specific. Let's say, you know, you're like, oh, I have to cut this off. Okay, well, what's the best way to cut it off? What's the quickest way? What's the safest way? What is the way I can do it that is going to do the least amount of damage? You're always trying to run those things through your head. At least you should be when you're in the skilled trades, because you don't want to be the one that's causing damage. You're usually the one that's fixing the damage. You don't want to be the one causing it, because you won't be in a job very long if you're the one causing the damage. So always try to you know, have your mind thinking along different ways of doing things. And sure, everybody likes the short way, but always the short way is not always the best way. And it's always probably the more dangerous way. So don't be in a rush. Don't shortcut. Take your time. You know, don't have an accident. Don't cut anything off that you weren't supposed to cut off or hurt yourself in any way. Always try to make it so that you're coming and leaving work, you know, you leave work the same way you came there in the morning. You know, you don't have any less digits on your hands, or you're not injured in any way. So always trying to think of a way to do a job. That's if you can do that and think of many ways to do one, then you're going to be further ahead, rather than just single-minded approach, tunnel vision. I'm doing it my way, and that's it. So it's you got to get out, got to back out of that way of thinking that, you know, you're just going to forge ahead and do it your way, and that's the only way. Take a step back, look at it. There is more than one way to do this job, and you can think your way through it. Use that brain of yours, everybody. Use your brain. Seldom do you cut anything off. That's good, DJ. That's good. Lose an arm, that's 20 pounds or less of weight loss. No, bad, DJ. You don't want that. Anyways, best weight loss plan is a mulcher. Actually, the best weight loss plan is caloric intake. Make sure you're not taking in more calories than you're burning. And that way you will be in fine shape. That said, safety first. Always, DJ. You saw, I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the video, I was putting my gauntlets on. I was putting on my respirator, putting on my face shield. What you guys didn't see me put on was my earplugs. I make sure I wear those because I don't want to have any more hearing damage than I have already. And let me tell you, tinnitus sucks, okay? If you don't know what tinnitus is, look it up. Yeah, it sucks. And fewer sweets. Yes, DJ, cutting down on the sugar is a good idea, the refined sugar. Cut down on that, and it's actually like one of the most hardest things to cut down because your body's addicted to it. So the sugar industry has us by the short and curlies. You see me clip on the tower too? Oh, nice. Clip in on the tower, yeah. Or just decompose. You got earmuffs for when you use your dad's radio. Yeah, earmuffs are good. Yep. You can lose weight pretty fast when you die and decompose. Well, yes. But you can't enjoy it. You're decomposing. You're dying. Oh, yeah. If you're in an enclosed space and you're using something like that, the echoes come off the ceiling and the walls and it just attacks your ear. It's not good. Well, all right, fellas. I had a good time hanging out today. I hope you did too. We had our industrial talk for the day. I just want to thank you guys for coming out. People like B17 and Fabric Folds. It's always good to see a Fabric. And Veritax. Veritax, our favorite software engineer. And Alex Moore, just lurking and getting ready for work. It's always good to have you coming by, Alex. Who else was here? DJ Ronnie G. Of course, DJ. You guys should follow DJ too if you haven't already. He does the Monday show on Thursdays. He does tech, turtles, and astronomy. So if you like that sort of stuff, you check out DJ Ronnie G. And anybody else. Tanker over on the Twitch side. It was nice seeing you. I'm just looking through here and seeing who came by. Anybody else who was lurking and listening. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you, you know. If you can take the time there on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, or, you know, spread the word, tell your friends. If you're on any other platforms, just send me a follow. Yeah, thanks for throwing the link out there, DJ, for Aris. Aris will be there streaming tonight. He streams a lot of games, I've noticed. And there's other channels to visit when I'm not streaming. You can check out Pacific 4 and 4, and of course the aforementioned DJ Ronnie G. Or if you like anime, you can check out Brandon the Anime Guy. Carl at the RNG Podcast. There's also Angry Canadian. There's Portal Life Form. There's Punk Waddle. That's everybody's favorite penguin, by the way. There's also Infinite Metal on Kick and Twitch. You can also follow Call Me Kixie. She's a great VTuber on Twitch. She plays indie games, and she's a very family-friendly streamer. You'll have a great time if you hang out with Kixie on Saturdays. Oh, and Pacific 4 and 4 is live right now. Oh, and he's doing Star Trek Voyager. Okay. So yeah, after me, hang out and say hi to Pacific 4 and 4. Say hi to him for me. And then there's DJ's channel right there. That's right. Check these guys out. They're great. I like them. I watch these guys. And coming up on Saturday, I'm going to be playing more Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy Color. So Oracle of Ages, I'm working my way through that. Man, this game is long. But I'm having a great time trying to clear one dungeon every stream. So we'll see if I can do that. And then on Sunday, it's Sunday Anime Chat coming up. It's going to be the last one of the month, which means the theme of the month is going to go away. And what's the theme, you say? It's Haremtober. So, shows that deal with the harem genre. Stop on by and we'll see if I can't throw some good ones out there for you guys to watch. And maybe some you've seen, some you haven't. And if you have any suggestions for me about good harem anime, throw them out there. I want to see them. And then after that's Tuesday, we're right around again to Tuesday. More trades talk, more pictures and videos of stuff that I've worked on, and more articles about the skilled trades, the shortage, how we need the skilled tradesmen, and what's being done about it, and whether there's going to be any more tariffs affecting the auto sector, who's going on strike, how many battery factories are not being built now because of the low demand for EV vehicles. So it goes to show you that when there's government incentives, people will go along and buy an electric vehicle. But as soon as the government incentives stop, nobody wants to buy an electric vehicle. So there you have it. People just don't want to. And there's a few that do, and they'll buy them, and they'll enjoy them. But don't try to force people. It's not going to work. Well, that's it for me for tonight, everyone. I'm glad you stopped by. I had fun, and I hope you did as well. And I hope to see you the next time I stream, which will be on the weekend. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.